Jeremy Saland joins me now. He's a criminal defense attorney and former assistant DA in Manhattan. So, Jeremy, thanks for being here. What happens now? What's the big next deadline in this case?
We have a December deadline where motions are going to be filed, maybe what we call a motion in the interest of justice to dismiss this case by Trump's team. And then I believe 2 weeks after that December 2nd date, we have the prosecution to respond. And in part, some of the things they're going to argue is that there's presidential absolute immunity, whether that's correct or not, that it's a DOJ's policy, which should translate to the state, that you can't prosecute a sitting president. And then this interest of justice argument may in part be what is the sort of the prejudice to the public if we continue with this case, as well as to the defendant for such a long period of time. So those are some of the factors that may be before the judge.
So a lot of considerations here. I want you to read the tea leaves for me, if you can, a little bit. Did Judge Marchand give any indication of whether he'll grant the Trump team's request to dismiss this case? And if you're a DA Alvin Bragg, would you be worried?
You know, tea leaves are very hard to read, but I'll do my best. He's very intentional, meaning Judge Marchand, with the words that he uses. And he did not give a date where he has before, a sentencing date. Doesn't mean that this is not going to be a sentence, but he's saying, I have to resolve these motions in advance. And I think that's arguably a right thing to do. So I won't read the tea leaves and say he's not going to sentence him, because I think there's a real heavy weight on Judge Marchand's shoulders to give an answer and to make it definitive that he should be sentenced, in my opinion, though not in the way that the district attorney's office may want.
Well, take me into Trump's team's sort of strategy here. What's their argument for having this conviction thrown out, given that this is, of course, a verdict by a jury?
So, again, there's a couple of things which are not necessarily fair and accurate. Let's start off with what I said before, that the Department of Justice, which is the federal government, not the state government, has a policy not to prosecute a sitting president. A, it's not, again, it's the state. And B, he was prosecuted before he became president. But that's one of their arguments. The transition of power and the impact on that is another argument. And then ultimately a third, which is not inclusive of everything, is this interest of justice, or we call it a Clayton motion, which may be what's coming, to say it is the bigger picture here to give closure and move forward for the country, not to be so fixated on sentencing the president.
Yeah. And I asked you to read the tea leaves. Now I'm going to ask you to almost get in a time machine. Do you think we'll be sitting here 4 years from now looking ahead at a potential Trump sentencing?
You know, when we spoke, I think earlier last week or this week, I said it would be a real injustice to do that. And I stand by that. Whether you're the defense, whether you're the prosecution, whether you're the public, and even for Mr. Trump, the future president, there needs to be a finite resolution, one way or another. To hold on to this for 4 years, to keep it up in limbo, that does nothing but cause more divisiveness, more questioning, more issues for the government in terms of the presidency, and for the public in terms of we need to end this and move forward. So that is a really bad, situation. We can't wait that long. I think that would be a terrible decision.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Jeremy, for all your smart analysis on this Friday.